Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the Single Market Program.
Today in the program, Poland and Kazakhstan, new perspectives of cooperation. EAEU, game rules in trade with Iran and China. Plant that embarked on new rails. Tajikistan restores fish industry. Hello, I am Yerkebulan Bekmuhanbet. You are watching the Single Market Program. 2 years in a row, 2015 and 2016, were quite a bad period for trade and economic relations between Kazakhstan and Poland. That was caused by objective prerequisites of internal and external nature. But the next year, 2017, was quite favorable. Aida Baymakova will tell you how this manifested itself and how the trade and economic ties between the countries are developing today. In 2017, the volume of mutual trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Poland was over $902,000. Compared to the previous 2 years, there has been a positive trend. Nevertheless, in the context of other European countries, the volume of mutual trade is very small. Therefore, today both Poland and Kazakhstan are making efforts to move the millionth Rubicon by expanding the format of business relations. Kazakhstan could be for Poland a kind of a platform from which it is possible to go to other Central Asian countries, both to the south and to the east. A kind of economic hub. We are talking about the perspectives associated with the transit of goods. For Kazakhstan, Poland is a window to Europe, since this country opens the way to the European Union from the east. In turn, Kazakhstan can become a bridge leading to China and other countries of the Asian Pacific region for Polish goods. The fact is that today, Poland is still an importer for China. A lot of Chinese products are importing to our country. Part of it stays in Poland, where part of it either sold or recycled by Polish enterprises. And then it's exported to other European countries. Thanks to Kazakhstan's transit, the country has a chance to make a difference. In the framework of the global project One Belt, One Road, where Kazakhstan is a participant, Poland can organize the export of its goods together with the import. I think that Polish entrepreneurs can more actively develop export in Asian direction. And they got that opportunity by the initiative One Belt, One Road. We don't want to bring empty trucks from Poland to China. We can fill it with our quality products. The development of transit cooperation in the framework of global trade are the perspectives. In the meantime, the status quo in the issues of mutual supply of goods between the two countries still exists. Poland supplies electrical appliances, synthetic material, pharmaceuticals, and fruits to Kazakhstan. The Kazakhstan's exports include hydrocarbons, products of ferrous metallurgy, chemical and petrochemical industries. It would be interesting for us to buy in the future, increase the exchange, the purchase of gas and oil in Kazakhstan, and your other goods, the natural resources that Kazakhstan has, rare metals that are necessary for the electronics industry. Today in Kazakhstan, there are 200 enterprises with Polish capital. The largest pharmaceutical company in Shymkent, which gained a second life thanks to investors from Poland, is one of the successful examples. They conducted a full-scale modernization, created new workshops, expanded the range of goods, mastered modern technologies, and introduced progressive standards. The quality of our drugs is very high because we have big experience in pharmaceutical industry, and today we can share our experience with Kazakhstan with great pleasure. Another investment project that has been implemented with the participation of Polish capital in Astana in a territory of a special economic zone demonstrates good development dynamics. We are talking about a plant that produces construction chemicals. In 2016, the President gave a ceremonial start to our production as part of the industrialization. The first release of goods was done in January 2017, and the plant is still successfully developing.
И вот по сей день успешно развиваемся.
In order for the business cooperation of Poland with Kazakhstan to receive a new impetus, in 2017, the Office of the Foreign Representative Office of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency was opened in Astana. The result is that more than 170 Polish companies addressed us. We helped them, provided them with the necessary information. Polish investors are interested in such industries as agribusiness, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics. One of the important industries is in the mining industry too, machinery and equipment, as well as the IT industry. Ironically, the uneasy collisions that occur in the geo-economy make countries look for new niches for cooperation. In any case, the trade and economic relations of Poland and Kazakhstan are today rising to a higher quality level, acquiring a comprehensive and long-term character. The Eurasian Economic Union initially laid in its program the idea of developing trade and economic relations in the framework of the so-called free trade zone. We are talking about countries that are not part of this integration union, but who want to cooperate with it. Vietnam was the first one to work in this format. In May 2018, at the Astana Economic Forum, two very interesting agreements were signed, the terms of which can be called a prologue to a closer partnership. To begin with, let me remind you that Vietnam became the first state to take part in the free trade zone with the Eurasian Economic Union. The second country that signed the treaty on the creation of such a zone with the EAEU was Iran. This landmark event took place on May 17, 2018, at the Astana Economic Forum. Here it is necessary to classify that the document is temporary. It is designed for 3 years. After this period, it will be possible to talk about the perspective of a long-term contract. Another important point is that the agreement involves two types of preferences. This is a significant reduction of duties and, in general, the abolition of duties on certain groups of goods. For example, customs tariffs will be lowered for the following goods produced in the EAEU: rolled steel, electronic and mechanical equipment, automotive products, food, namely beef, lamb, vegetable, and butter, barley, rice, corn, soybeans, chickpeas, peas, pasta, confectionery. The duty on these goods will be from 4 to 10%. Such Iranian goods as citrus fruits, dates, pistachios, figs, melons, watermelon, and seafood will not be subject to duty. These are from the list of food products, as well as zero customs tariffs introduced for paints and varnishes, carpets, and plastics. Seasonal reduction, specifically in the autumn-winter period, is provided for such Iranian agricultural products as cucumbers, tomatoes, and apples. Experts believe that another document signed in 2018 in Astana is a window of new opportunities. This is an agreement on trade and economic cooperation between the EAEU and China. This is not about creating a free trade zone. Since this agreement does not provide for the abolition of reduction of mutual duties, the document aims to regulate the following bilateral trade issues: technical barriers, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, government procurement, electric commerce, and protection of intellectual property. Instead of a resume, according to analysts, both agreements will make a significant contribution to the development of trade between the EAEU countries, Iran and China. It can be witnessed in a year. Well, you should not discount such an important moment as the positioning of an integration union in the global world. That's all for today. My name is Alexander Galiev. In Soviet times, up to 4,000 tons of fish were raised in fish farms in Tajikistan. A part of this volume was supplied to other republics, including Russia. It is said that fish grown in the cleanest mountain rivers of Tajikistan was in great demand at the Kremlin's government cuisine. In Dushanbe alone, there were more than 160 shops selling live fish. With the collapse of the Union, the fish industry of the republic fell into disrepair. But today, it is being reborn. Our correspondent from Tajikistan is ready to tell about it. The The total area of water resources of Tajikistan involved in the fishing industry exceeds 3,000 hectares. The number of farms that are engaged in the reproduction of fish has reached 270. They mainly specialize in the cultivation of such fish as carp, grass carp, silver carp, and trout. Today, the price of 1 kilogram of fish is between $3 and $6.5. It all depends on the kind of fish. It should be noted here that sea-frozen fish, which is imported to us from abroad, is 30 to 50% cheaper than local one. Of all the types of fish, the most sought after in the Tajik market is a local trout. By the way, it was valuable in Soviet times. The mountain rivers and lakes of the Republic have always been considered a perfect water area for growing trout that feels comfortable in clean and cold water. The water from these natural resources flows through canals into pools designed for breeding trout. Water should be running, saturated with oxygen, and its temperature should not be above 18 degrees. Therefore, we ensure round the clock that water regularly arrives in the pools and trays are not clogged with garbage. The market formation and civil confrontation had a negative impact on the fishing industry of the Republic. 10 years ago, only 7 specialized enterprises worked in Tajikistan. Today, the number of specialized farms has increased 38 times. The growth dynamics is maintained. This was largely due to the Industry Development Program, which began operating in 2009. Its main goal is to improve the genetic and productive qualities of commercial fish. This fish is 5 years old. It weighs 3 kilograms. According to experts, it was a sectoral program that stimulated the interest of entrepreneurs in the reproduction of fish, primarily trout. To improve the genetic potential of fish, we brought fry from France, mixed them with fry of Tajik trout. We have to buy food and vitamins in Iran. Iran is a country where Tajikistan acquires not only food and vitamins for the development of its fish industry, but also experience. There are several hundred special centers there that deal only with fish farming. Therefore, many CIS countries, including Russia, Azerbaijan, and Tajikistan, actively cooperate with Iran on technology transfer issues. The Iranian specialist Umid Faromazi has been working in Tajikistan for 8 years. There are many nuances that only an experienced specialist sees. In terms of growing trout, it is important to consider many factors. This is the time of sorting of larvae, fry and adult individuals, and, of course, it is necessary to carefully monitor the diet of fish. Feeding fish, especially the valuable trout, is very important. For the fish to gain weight quickly, it must be fed regularly. Young fish should eat 8 times, an adult 3 times a day. Purchasing feed for fish farms is our main problem. Imported food is a significant part in the cost of fish. If we build a feed production plant in Tajikistan, the price of our products will immediately decrease. Although fish grown on farms in Tajikistan is priced higher than imported ones, consumers prefer to buy local products. I usually buy a carp, but today I have bought trout. It costs $6.5. The fact is that I will have guests. I want to treat them to our trout. It is so tasty and always fresh. This assessment speaks of 2 things. Firstly, the local fish is very competitive. And secondly, Tajik consumers become more picky due to the growth of their wealth. The appearance in Dushanbe of a specialized restaurant whose menu is made up of fish dishes is evidence of this trend. There was no competition. On the other hand, it was hard to convey that we had such high-quality products. Local trout is our brand. When my friends or relatives come from other regions or from abroad, I invite them to this restaurant to try our famous trout. Today, fisheries of the Republic produce products, the volume of which provides only a seventh of the needs. Tajikistan annually imports approximately 6.5 thousand tons of fish. At the same time, the fish potential of the country is very high. Only the Gorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Region is capable of growing up to 40,000 tons of trout per year. This volume would be enough for the Republic both for domestic consumption and for external supplies. Experts hope that with the approval of the new state program for the development of the industry, the Republic's fish farming will gain a second life and taste of the Tajik trout in other countries. Kurbankolov, Ismat Akhmedov, Dushanbe, especially for the single market. Railway engineering. This industrial sector plays a significant role in the manufacturing industry of Kazakhstan. Since it was here, that formed the chain of productions interconnected by industry interests. This process, in the conditions of development of logistics and transit of trade cargo, is of particular importance for Kazakhstan. 2 years ago in Kazakhstan, in the city of Aktabia, the opening of the enterprise took place, which organically entered the profile complex. In a short time, it managed to occupy its niche, not only in the domestic, but also in the foreign market. The main part of cargo, including transit, in the territory of Kazakhstan moves through the steel routes. Therefore, within the framework of the National Program for Improving Logistics, the Republic puts emphasis on the development of the railway network. One of the solutions to this issue is the creation of our own industries capable of producing high-quality products for modern transport infrastructure. In 2016, in the west of the country, in the city of Aktabia, a new production was opened for the production of railway rails and sections. In the same year, the company passed certification for compliance with the requirements of railway infrastructure safety standards. This enabled the Kazakh plant to participate in tenders of the Eurasian Economic Union and to win the integration market due to the advantages of the technological process and high-quality products. Our main competitors are Yevraz and Mechil. In Mechil, quenching is performed with an aqueous solution of a polymer, and it is limited in its capabilities. And in Novokuznets, at Yevraz air is carried out, while we have water hardening. This hardening technology is particularly flexible. That is, it has the ability to quickly adapt to any innovations in the production process that improve product quality. By changing the ratio of air and water intensity, it is possible to produce rails from any newly emerging steels, thereby increasing their strength, wear resistance, etc. The plant purchases raw materials for production in Russia. The supplier of rail blanks, Metalo Invest, is one of the best Russian manufacturers producing steel. All the advantages of Kazakhstan goods were identified in the framework of infrastructure projects, such as the Almaty-Chu Railway, the Kuruk Ferry, and the new railway station in Astana. In addition to domestic supplies, the plant exports its products to Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Georgia, and Uzbekistan. With the development of production and certification of Type 60E1 and 60E2 rails that meets the requirements of the European standard, the Aktubinsk plant will be able to significantly expand the export geography. Part of the world uses the E65, the rails we produce, and some use the European ones. For example, the countries of the Middle East, Europe, Afghanistan, Iran, that is, now we are entering this market. In the context of the growing popularity of green economy in the world, the closed-end industrial production method that is used at the enterprise can be an additional argument in favor of Kazakhstani goods. This technology ensures the ratio use of water and environmental protection. In any case, the Aktubinsk plant has every chance to get on the rails of sustainable development.
На сегодня это все. С вами был Ирки Булан Бекмухамбет.
That's it for today. See you soon in Single Market Program.
До встречи в программе Single Market.